This is KGW News at noon.
I have to live with this every day, and it brings me nightmares, and I can't live with myself sometimes, but I try to push through.
You just heard from 23-year-old Nicholas Cruz. He pleaded guilty this morning to the massacre at Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, 3 years ago. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Brenda Braxton. Today in court, Cruz also apologized. He pleaded guilty to 17 counts of first-degree murder and 17 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Relatives of the victims packed the courtroom to watch this hearing, many breaking down in tears as the victims' names were read aloud.
I don't want to hear that he's sorry or that he wants to do good. As my son said, he should have thought of that February 13th.
Coming up in January, this case will move into the sentencing phase. A jury will decide whether Cruz gets the death penalty or spends the rest of his life in prison without the possibility of parole. Also in Florida, the medical examiner has been called to a park where investigators found items belonging to Brian Laundrie. He's the missing fiance of Gabby Petito. After a brief search of a nature preserve, authorities found some of Laundrie's things on a trail, but they won't say what they are. Law enforcement also found what appear to be human remains. They've put up that tent in the area and are now conducting a more thorough search. Laundrie has been missing for 5 weeks. He disappeared after Petito turned up dead in Wyoming back in September. The couple had been on a cross-country trip. Laundrie hasn't been charged in Petito's death, but he is a person of interest in the case. Back here in Portland, authorities are investigating a deadly hit and run this morning in Industrial Northwest. A pedestrian died around 3:30 and the driver left the scene. The crash shut down Highway 30 between 29th and 35th Avenues, but the road is back open this afternoon. When police release any other information, we'll certainly update you on KGW.com. Tomorrow morning, Portland Public Schools will hear from more families about a potential COVID vaccine mandate for students. A number of parents weighed in last night at one of the district's first listening sessions. KGW's Alma McCarty shows us how it went.
On the first night of town halls, mixed reaction from PPS parents on a possible vaccine requirement for eligible students. Some praised the district for proposing this policy. Others opposed it, calling it a personal choice, not one that should be mandated by public schools.
I'm just really worried and scared about what's going to happen if it is a mandate.
For the 12 and older, I think there is good evidence that vaccines are good for our population and that the more people we have vaccinated, the better.
We're better off trying to encourage people to get the vaccine if they feel it's appropriate for them.
If you're already planning to put this vaccine mandate into effect, my daughter is not going to go to school in PPS.
I am pro-vaccination and I am pro-mandate for the schools for 12 and up.
This should be a personal decision, should be a family decision, and should be private.
I care about my community. I want people to be safe, and I'm glad people have the choice to have the vaccine if that's what feels right to them. But to me, it just feels like such a personal, private medical decision.
The foundation that's needed for equity is to have kids in school and consistently, and to have teachers in school consistently. And I believe that a mandate for the vaccine would help with this.
School board member Gary Hollins told parents their minds are not made up.
I just want to make sure that we're getting the right information out. The decision has not been made, and that's why we want to listen to what you guys are saying.
District staff tell KGW News that following these listening sessions, the board will discuss everything pertaining to a vaccine requirement at the October 26th meeting. Then, if the board decides to move forward with it, they'd consider and vote at the November 2nd meeting.
There are 2 more listening sessions about the mandate. Both are on Thursday. The first is for Spanish-speaking PPS families at 9 a.m. The second is exclusively for students. Parents can still weigh in by writing to the district and board.
That was Alma McCarty reporting for us. The Portland School District is also looking to hire and retain a more diverse group of school leaders, and a new grant should help with that. This month, the district received more than $8 million from the Wallace Foundation. They'll use that money to help hire administrators and provide mentorship and coaching. The program aims to make sure job candidates are diverse and committed to racial equity and social justice.
It's also important that our students and our school communities see a diversity in our educators and in our school principals. I don't think it's okay for a student of color to go through their pre-K-12 experience and never see an educator or leader who looks like them.
The grant will also help Portland Public Schools work with local universities to build up the pool of job candidates with the goal of developing more leaders of color. Well, the community is rallying around a single mom after thieves ransacked her house and stole her car. Loida Marr says she was with a friend at Denny's in Southeast Portland when somebody stole her backpack out of her friend's vehicle in the parking lot. The pack had a piece of mail in it with her home address. So she raced home only to find that the thieves had been there first. They trashed her house, they stole her car. It eventually turned up, but it was stripped. We talked to Loida with the help of a translator about what happened.
Estoy muy triste porque she's sad and really surprised that there's people that are so mean and so heartless that they could do that to somebody, especially if they don't know their situation, like how hard they work for the things. Like she said, when she saw the car, it was completely like dismantled, no wheels. They took pieces from the front, pieces from the back. They broke a blinker.
Friends have launched a GoFundMe to help her get back on her feet. You can find a link to that on our website. Well, vandalism is one of several growing problems in Portland, and Belmont Station in Southeast is among the latest businesses to get hit. The owners say somebody drove by their building and threw rocks through the windows. Nothing was stolen, but somebody still has to pay for that damage.
People say, oh, well, you know, your insurance will cover it. Well, not necessarily. We really have to make that very measured decision to decide whether we're going to actually, do that or not.
Not filing an insurance claim means the owners would have to pay out of pocket. They say that's money they could have used to pay for renovations or even donated to charity. Portland just marked 5 years since a huge explosion devastated part of Northwest 23rd Avenue. Here's what it looked like on October 19th, 2016, after a construction crew ruptured a natural gas line. Firefighters arrived immediately. They told everybody that they could find to evacuate. That blast injured 8 people, including 5 first responders. Today, this part of Northwest 23rd has been repaired, but the businesses aren't the same. New shops have been replaced, or new shops, I should say, have replaced the ones that moved away, and it has taken years of construction to get here.
Seeing that completed and having new businesses come in and fill, that's awesome for the street and this area. The more businesses down here, the better.
There are 6 lawsuits pending as a result of that explosion. 4 of them are from people who were injured. We spoke with a lawyer handling 2 of the cases. His clients are asking for more than $11 million in damages. Well, supply chain issues are now affecting ski shops in Central Oregon. This one in Bend looks stocked, but the shelves aren't quite as full as usual. The owner of Powder House Ski and Snowboard says usually by October 1st, his place is 98% stocked, but right now it's only 80% full.
Getting things as simple as a file to do edges and getting parts for machines, and if something happens, it's going to become difficult to get the part to repair it.
If you're looking for outdoor gear, McGee says get it soon. He says once his store inventory is gone, some items will be very hard to get back in stock. Well, Rod's not talking snow for the moment at least, but you do have your eye on some rain and wind.
Yeah, earlier this morning, the windiest part of our day so far. Some of those reports, most of these were between about 5 and 7 this morning. Newport popped a south gust of 44, Salem 32, McMinnville 31. PDX so far 29. Fremont Bridge had a 34-mile-per-hour wind gust, so perhaps you noticed that. Still some hefty showers around, although the main front basically weakened and has pushed through the area. We've had some lightning strikes, though, with that said, out in northeastern Oregon in the past 15 minutes. We've also had in about the past 20 minutes some lightning strikes around Tillamook County at the coast. You can see it's scattered precipitation, but some of it's heavy. And we're still getting a south wind push. There's south winds 29 in Portland and southwest direction in Troutdale. I mentioned the front itself that the surface kind of washed out, but we're still getting the south, we're still getting a pretty warm south wind flow. Weather map should come back in just a moment. Here we go. There are the winds out east to Baker City, southwest gust of 31. We are at 61 degrees. It's going to continue to be very mild. I still believe as we march through the afternoon, the number of showers will be decreasing in number. 64 at 4 p.m. We should be dry and partly cloudy this evening at 8 p.m. The 7 days loaded with lots of stuff.
Oh, wow.
That's coming up.
All right. Thank you, Rod.